Okay, Andy, is there sound with this? Let's just. Okay, well, it's not quite 6 o'clock yet, so we'll just wait and see. Waiting. Alrighty, so 6 o'clock. That's the type of person I am. Hopefully there is sound with this. This is Alex from Wine Academy, and I'm just putting together a live stream tonight because it was an interesting exercise to integrate it with the website. And also because I wanted to have a bit of a practice with some of the technology, because I know in last Thursday night's virtual masterclass, a couple of people had problems with sound, and one person said that the image wasn't very clear. I've since found out that the webcam I was using can be focused, but we didn't focus it. So that might have been that issue. So tonight I'm trying with the lav mic and just the laptop camera and seeing how we go. The idea is that this will be weekly, hopefully, and because it's live, it will then go onto the YouTube channel so that if you miss it live, you can see it later. Right, so I've got a list of tiny scrawled handwriting here that and I've just got a comment already, so I hope the sound is okay. So I'm busy chatting away. Right, so in the news this week, the big news of this week in South Australia was obviously that the cellar doors, wineries have been able to reopen their cellar doors for takeaway sales of both alcohol and food if they have restaurants. So this has been sort of dragging on for a couple of weeks now, and the wineries have been completely closed down, whereas things like breweries have been open, but then some breweries have been closed down. So obviously this is really good news for the wineries. It means they're going to be able to employ a few more staff for a few more hours. Obviously their hours are still really cut down, but you know, it's better than nothing. The rest of the news that I have this week is perhaps not quite so great. So it's looking like vintage 2020, which is mostly wrapping up as we speak, could be down as much as 50% across the board in South Australia. The South Australian Wine Industry Association is saying that the quality is up this year, which I don't know, feels like this is something that gets said every year. But there's fewer grapes. In the Barossa and Clare, some areas vintage could be down, harvest could be down as much as 80%, and the Riverland at the moment is looking like it might be the best of all the areas, with just down under 20%. So don't expect vast amounts of wine out of vintage 2020. The flow on from this, of course, is that there is plenty of gloom and doom about the future of wineries in Australia. So apparently we have about 2,500, just over 2,500 wineries in Australia. And the Australian Grape and Wine chief executive was in the media this week saying that there could be up to 30% of those wineries that we lose because of sort of the compound effect of both the bushfires, coronavirus, everything having to shut down. And there's been flow into a whole pile of other industries. So this last week or two has been the first time that my business has actually really started to feel the pinch from the supply chain. So normally, we order from some of our distributors and wines turn up within 24 hours. And surprisingly, those distributors aren't doing tons and tons of runs to restaurants and bars at the moment. They're really cutting back. So we're finding that there's a little bit of delay in receiving wines. So if you're waiting on them, that might be why. And the other thing is that because everybody is now shifting to online, there's been much greater demand for boxes. So where I would normally get in touch with a supplier and say, oh, I need X amount of boxes, and they'd say, sure, you can pick it up tomorrow. I actually placed an order just before Easter for some boxes, and I was able to pick them up today. So there's a real flow-on effect from all of this. The really good news is that our courier seems to still be dropping off wine at great speed. So we had some wine go out today, and at least one of those parcels, Adelaide Metro, was delivered same day, which is absolutely fantastic. It means they're kicking Australia Post's butt as well. So the highlight of the last week was definitely the Shiraz Masterclass last Thursday night with looking at Hunter and Barossa wines. We had 2 brackets of wines, which people were able to buy BYO tickets. We had Ian Riggs, AM from Brokenwood, come and join the call. And there is a blog post up on the site that covers some of the highlights. One of the highlights that I didn't mention was that there was a question around decanting. And if you're decanting an older wine, this most definitely does not apply. But if you are decanting a young wine, it was great. Ian's advice was, look, if it's a younger wine, what you want to do is you want to get some air through it, just slosh it into your decanter, get that air through it, and then drink it. The only problem there is that if you do decant a younger wine, you kind of have to drink it all in one go. So if you don't think you're going to be able to finish off the bottle, just pour it vigorously into your glass and give your glass a good swirl. We have our GSM Masterclass coming up on the 23rd, which is next Thursday. And this is going to look at GSM. So we have 2 brackets again. We'll be joined by Rob Mack, the winemaker at Aphelion, winemaker and owner at Aphelion in McLaren Vale. And we'll be looking at his Rapture alongside Gigondas from Gigal. And the other bracket is the Longline GSM, also from McLaren Vale. And Paul Carpenter, the winemaker there, will be joining us after he knocks off work. So quite selfishly, I hope he has a good week and gets home a little bit earlier than he has been. So there are still tickets available for that. I mean, the BYO tickets are pretty much unlimited. There are only 2 spoil yourself packs left. So if you did want that option, hop on to it straight away. And then for the 7th of May, we have Meet the Italians scheduled. This is going to be a slightly different structure. We're going to have basically a mix and match, so you can have 2 reds, 2 whites, or 1 of each. They're all priced exactly the same, and we've just got $5 shipping on those packets. And we will have some winemakers come along. Pretty sure we've got Greg and Kate from XO Wine Co. confirmed. Just drop them in it, and I will let you know the other winemakers who'll be here in due course. And another news, well, in a similar vein with these virtual masterclasses, hopefully I'll also be lining up a collaboration with another winery. That might be another Grenache collaboration. We're not 100% sure yet. I did notice that there was a press release that came out, I think it was either today or tomorrow, through Wine Communicators, that the WSET is still up and running with their online courses, and I'm still getting plenty of inquiries about WSET courses. By all means, continue to send the inquiries in. At this stage, we're not in a position to offer an exam, and I don't think that it's reasonable to sign people up to do a course when I can have no confidence that I can offer them the exam. And I'm sure that everybody knows that, if you're studying something, the best time to do the exam is when the material is all fresh and fresh in your mind. So, you know, I just don't feel comfortable sorting them out. By all means, continue to send inquiries through, because as soon as I do have a course that I can offer you, I will be letting you know. And then finally, a quick look at what I have been drinking this week. So I'm quite impressed it's not an enormous pile of empties that I have next to me. So the first wine that I have here, with the dodgy camera angle, this is the Golding Marjorie. So this retails for about $50 a bottle, and you can tell it's a sparkling wine bottle. It's their premium sparkling. This is the 2013, and it's a Blanc de Noir, so it's 100% Pinot Noir. It's still white, and this is a cellar door only wine. The only way you can get this, I would sell it to you if I could, but the only way you can get this wine is by jumping on the Golding website and buying yourself some, or sign up to their what's it called, Western Branch Club, and then you can order some of this all the time. We also had, with some pasta during the week, the Zarella 4056 Cabernet. This is in the store. This is $29 a bottle, and it's a very typical juicy blackcurranty rye beanery kind of Cabernet. It wasn't too harsh on the tannins. Andy tried some after drinking a beer and said that the tannins really stood out, but actually it's not too tannic at all. And we had this with some pasta, but would also be awesome if you were having some roast lamb with like loads of rosemary. It would be absolutely delicious. And then finally, and I've still got some of this left in my left in the bottle. Oh my goodness me, you're never going to be able to see that image, are you? This is the Fleurier Hills Vineyard Pinot Gris. I love their little square labels, and I don't know if this is going to watch me spill this all over. I've got two laptops here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this that well, especially not because I've got all these pieces of paper here that are written on. But this is a Pinot Gris, which is just, oh yeah, you can kind of see that. You can see that that is just the most gorgeous pale pink color. It's not a rosé at all, but it's just a gorgeous pale pink. And this is just so laden with pear and spice, this wine. I don't sell this yet. I may look at selling it in the future because it is pretty good. But it is definitely a wine that you wouldn't want to serve too cold. Right, I think that's everything that I had in my notes for today, and I'm quite pleased. This is around the 10-15 minute mark, which is kind of what I was aiming for. And I've had some comments. Well, I've had one hello, which is from my partner, and one comment from my mum saying that she can hear me. So that's awesome. This video will be going onto the YouTube channel. So if you miss it, you'll be able to pick it up. And don't forget, tickets for the GSM Masterclass are on sale. If you're viewing this on the website, there will be a link on the right-hand side. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend and stay safe and healthy. And I will see you all either at the GSM Masterclass next week or at next Friday, maybe at the same time. Cheers.